So welcome to our 10th annual meeting. And I want to thank all of our investors, community partners for just doing an outstanding job in 2020 to make our community a better place to live, work, and engage and prosper for all, even in spite of a global pandemic. I mean, truly amazing what this region has accomplished. And I'd also like to extend a special thank you to our entire Gsdc Board of Directors for their efforts, dedication, and time that they've given to the Gsdc and to our entire community. These people that you see on the screen right now, what a board. I mean, just outstanding people doing an outstanding job of representing you all on our board, and I can't thank them enough for their commitment to our organization. One of the benefits of meeting in a virtual format today is our ability to also watch our SCSU Huskies. So it is, they are competing with in the Frozen Four tournament. And so Mayor Kleiss has declared this Husky Hockey Day, so hence the shirt. So we will not feel bad if you're doing some multitasking to keep track of the game while we're involved in the meeting. So just keep your mute on so that we don't have to hear the play-by-play. So before we jump into today's program, a quick reminder to please turn your microphone on mute and change your viewing option to speaker view so that if you've not already done so, that way you'll get the best picture here of what's going on. So an overview of today's meeting. We have great information to share with you all today. Here's a basic overview of the next hour. We hope you can stick around for all of it. First, we'll introduce our new Gsdc investor members. Next, our Gsdc president, Patti Gartland, will share brief opening remarks and then introduce a video that has been produced showcasing Gsdc's 2020 highlights and 2021 priorities. A keynote by Brian Ryks, MSP Metropolitan Airports Commission Executive Director and former St. Cloud Regional Airport Manager, titled Weathering Pandemic Challenges at MSP, will be our keynote. Then a presentation of Gsdc Community Catalyst Leadership and Community Pillar Awards will follow. And lastly, we'd hope that you could stick around for our reception via Zoom break rooms from 5 to 5:15 p.m. We'll go back to those small breakout rooms so you can do some networking after that. So now I would like to welcome our 8 new Gsdc investor members. As we introduce each of our new investors, I will invite a representative from each organization to unmute and offer a very brief 1-minute introduction of their organization and to share why they're excited about to be joining the Gsdc investor group. With that, I will start with the Star Tribune as a corporate level investor, Paul Casbone from the Star Tribune.
Thank you, Brian. Brian, are you going to wear that shirt on our webinar tomorrow?
If you'd like me to, I would.
It depends on the final score.
Yes.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Paul Casbone. I'm the Senior Vice President and Chief Revenue Officer at Star Tribune Media Company. Absolutely thrilled to be joining this organization. It's very much in alignment with the work that I do. So I head up the business side, focused on the advertising, sales, and marketing areas. And really everything we do is tied to helping local businesses grow their business to survive and thrive. And that's very much in alignment with the mission of this organization. So we're happy about that. On the news side, our mission is all about providing more of what matters to Minnesotans all day, every day. And we've got a huge focus right now on covering greater Minnesota in a more meaningful manner. Hopefully, most of you have received an invite to sign up for St. Cloud Today. That's our newsletter. Hopefully, many of you have seen a lot more St. Cloud coverage lately, showing up on our website and through our print product as well. So thank you for the invite. We're happy to join and look forward to this partnership.
Thank you, Paul. Next, we have Commercial Realty Solutions as our other new corporate level investor. Eric O'Brien from CRS speaks.
Good afternoon, everybody. Eric O'Brien with Commercial Realty Solutions. We're a commercial real estate brokerage that just celebrated our 11th anniversary this past fall. Wayne Elam is the owner of the brokerage. We're based out of Buffalo, but about 2.5 years ago, we opened up a St. Cloud office, which I head up. And then recently joining me late in 2020 is Ben Copperthife, joining our group as well. So we're very excited to be part of this organization, and Ben and I are very committed to working to grow opportunities in the business community in St. Cloud. And we just look forward to being part of this group and finding ways to grow business together. So I should add too, we look to grow our office as well. We would like to grow our team in St. Cloud. So thank you.
Thank you, Eric. We'll move now to introducing our 6 new advocate level investors. First up is Global Impacts USA, King and Bob.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for giving us the invitation to join this meeting. Global Impacts was founded in 2017, and I must thank Brian for it. Back in the days, we wrote up a business plan, and then from there we started it. Global Impacts basically is an international textile company along with its 2 other subsidiary, StriveMed and Guild Apparel Company. It's basically wholesale importer distribution of textiles around all 50 states. And we have been able to inculcate a lot of entrepreneurship skills to the local area and to the college and the students. We also have been able to do some work in the Strive, working with some of the NFL players, which include recently joined Mackenzie Alexander, who is back in Vikings. So it's textile, it's sustainable business, and the experimentation is on. And thanks to Brian, who actually saw our first business plan, and all the businesses we do are locally, including our banking and the brokers. So with that,
Thank you, King. Granite City Real Estate is next. Kate Hansen. Somebody's getting checked, I think. Kate, are you on the call?
Brian, I don't know if I see Kate on the call, so I'll take it.
Okay, thanks, Greg.
So this is Greg Winfeld. I am one of the principal partners of Granite City Real Estate. We're a full service real estate brokerage and management firm for both commercial real estate and multifamily residential. Not sure how long Granite City's been in business. Andy Martin, the managing partner, and I acquired some of the retiring partners about 2.5 years ago, and have continued to run it and expand it, and continue to try and serve the needs of the St. Cloud and central Minnesota area for commercial real estate brokerage, and lease brokerage, and a lot of management. We really focus on the management side. So enjoy being part of GSDC.
Thank you, Greg. Next, HireWorks Collaborative, Pastor James Alberts.
I don't know if he's on here, Brian, so I'll go ahead and take it.
Okay, buddy. You can certainly do it.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Buddy King. HireWorks Collaborative was formed in 2017 in recognition of our growing community. Our mission is to bring a holistic approach that bridges the gaps and meets the needs of the BIPOC community. Our organization was created to highlight the achievements, provide solutions to struggles, and simultaneously deal with the disparities that exist in the local communities with people of color. Our leadership team has over 75 years of collective community experience. Our intersectional involvement in this community gives us direct contact with community and stakeholders that we serve. Together with our lived experiences, our connection to the community, we are able to recognize problems, identify needs, and provide opportunities while working towards solutions. So we are just so thankful to be part of this group and to have these opportunities. So thank you again.
Thank you, buddy. And next, Lee and Vicki Morgan. Lee, I understand you are going to be the spokesperson today.
That's right, Brian. This is Lee and Vicki Morgan. We're retired business folks now, engage in philanthropy through the Morgan Family Foundation, and we have discovered that the purposes for philanthropy and for-profit are very similar: to serve human needs. And Gsdc facilitates that in a big way. And we want to support GDSC and their ability to grow the pie and make it bigger for everyone in St. Cloud. So it's our pleasure.
Thank you, Lee. St. Cloud Area YMCA. Greg, are you on the call?
Yes, I am, Brian. And as the YMCA, again, Greg Jake, I'm the CEO of the St. Cloud YMCA, and we really operate in three spaces. It's healthy living, youth development, and social responsibility. And over the 10 years that the GSDC has been serving our community, we've had different engagement levels with GSDC, and it just made sense for us to take that next step and become an investor. And so now we went from really connected to committed, and we're excited to work alongside and work with the many different partners that are part of the GSDC and make our community even greater. So we just appreciate the opportunity to connect even further.
Thank you, Greg. And last but certainly not least, Dan Soldner.
Hi, thanks, Brian. So I'm Dan Soldner, and we're I'm the president at Vi. We're a marketing agency. Our main office is in St. Cloud. We also have a physical office in Green Bay. And what we're trying to do is redefine marketing as a measurable growth investment. And so we do this by blending creativity with data and technology, often to drive sales revenue. And you know, we're excited to be a part of the GSDC again. Because we really care about the community and the business that we live in. And I think it aligns really well with what the GSDC is trying to do, which is help it grow. So we're about growth. So is the GSDC. We're happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Dan. And thank you again to all of our new investors. We really appreciate your commitment, and also to our existing investors. Without you, we don't have an organization. So thank you all. I would now like to turn it over to Patti Gartland, president of the GSDC, to share highlights of GSDC's 2020 accomplishments and this year's elevated priorities. Patti.
It helps if I take the mute button off.
Sure.
Thank you. Yes, go Huskies. Brian and I are both proud alum of St. Cloud State University, and so we're tickled pink to be wearing our St. Cloud State Huskies attire today for our annual meeting. Thank you, Brian, and good afternoon, all. I'm so pleased to be in your good company today. And we're really hoping this is our last virtual gathering of all our investors and partners for a very long time. I'd also like to offer a warm welcome to a few special guests that have joined our gathering today. In addition to our keynote speaker, Mr. Brian Ryks, who's CEO of the MSP Metropolitan Airports Commission, we also have a couple of other executives from his team in attendance, Chad Leckby and Mitch Killian. Welcome. We're fortunate to be served by exceedingly dedicated and passionate elected officials on a local, state, and federal level. We have a number of city and county officials in attendance. Also today, we have our newly elected Senator Eric Putnam. I'm pleased to share that Senator Putnam is carrying forward our late Senator Jerry Ralph's practice of hosting regular briefing calls with area community and business organization leaders. In fact, we had one of those calls this morning. And most often our other reps from the region, Representative Tice, Representative Wolgamott, are typically part of those calls. And we're also delighted to be joined today by Catalina Valencia. She is Deed's new Executive Director for Business Development. I had the recent privilege of being invited by Catalina to represent the West Central region on the Minnesota team that she assembled to promote Minnesota for business development at a Site Selectors Guild event where we made pitches to 7 different site selector enterprises. Additionally, 2 of my counterparts on that team are also here today. Brian Hansen from the Apex organization out of Duluth and Deanna Coonan, City of Faribault, are here. Welcome. Another counterpart from our area and also former executive director for the St. Cloud Downtown Council is here today, Jolene Foss from the Wright County Economic Development Partnership. And finally, and most importantly, I'd like to offer my profound appreciation to our entire board, particularly board chair Brian Myres, and to the very talented and dedicated team of professionals that I have the good fortune of working alongside. Leslie Dingman, Gail Cruikshank, Larry Hosh, Andrew Webb-Darwin, and Amelia Barkley each play a pivotal role in doing what we do best, and that is to collaborate and partner with all of you in serving the business development needs and interests of our region. So it's time now to move into the segment of our program where we shine a light on our major accomplishments for 2020 and our elevated priorities for 2021. We enlisted the talents of Greenfield Communications and our friends at Data Marketing in producing a short video for your viewing pleasure.
When 2020 began, a lot of businesses had big plans, which quickly changed when COVID-19 hit, including at the Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation. Our mission did not change, but the way we delivered on it did. While you were understandably focused on the health of both your loved ones and your businesses, you may have missed some of the GSDC's work on your behalf this past year. Our attention immediately shifted to assisting hundreds of devastated area companies. Our fast response strategy of support, rebuilding, and recovery included convening industry sector roundtables and frequent meetings with funding organizations. We kept GSDC investors updated on options and solutions, participating in more than 50 pandemic briefings with DEED and sharing key information with you via email updates that continue today. We assisted over 200 entrepreneurs and startups in our role as the new Launch Minnesota Hub, and by working closely with the region's G-Beta program as part of our contract with the nationally ranked startup accelerator called Generator. Our ongoing leadership with Young American Leaders cohort activities continued in 2020 as well. Of course, you can't have strong companies without strong talent. During the year, we posted more than 16,000 jobs on our JobSpot website, featuring nearly 1,200 companies. We teamed with Sauk Rapids Rice Public Schools to provide career education and joined several community partners in leading epic activities for 3,300 high school students. We collaborated with the St. Cloud School District and others to create the Career Pathways program to further align education with jobs students will seek upon graduation. To support kids and families during distance learning, we teamed with the United Way to launch Around Cloud Tutors, a free online tutoring program. We also launched stcloudshines.com to highlight our community's many advantages to employees, entrepreneurs, young families, and others. Packed with information about nightlife, diversity, housing, and more, the site expands on our popular St. Cloud Shines social media campaign. Other key Gsdc initiatives in 2020 included furthering our efforts to encourage STEM careers, addressing childcare challenges, and taking new steps to close the racial disparities gap, which includes development and implementation on a diversity, equity, and inclusion roadmap. We are also advocating for the revitalization of downtown St. Cloud and full build-out of broadband infrastructure. Another area of our longtime advocacy was realized in 2020 with the City of St. Cloud and the counties of Benton, Stearns, and Sherburne approving a joint resolution to create an airport authority. The transition is now underway. The GSDC did not allow the pandemic to undermine our vital job creation efforts, not at all. We helped the region add over 450 new jobs in 2020, plus 130 more to soon be added at Pilgrims. The $75 million Pilgrims expansion came to fruition when the GSDC brought together representatives from the state, Stearns County, the city of Cold Spring, and XL Energy. All told, we supplied information to 14 companies considering relocation to Greater St. Cloud, which included leading a tour with a national development company that is exploring expansion here. Throughout the year, Our talented GSDC staff collaborated with investors, partners, and other stakeholders to keep a multitude of projects moving forward. Despite often working from home and dealing with other roadblocks, they didn't miss a beat in creating opportunities for you and our region. No one knows where 2021 will lead us, but the GSDC will be here to lead on your behalf, always with an eye on our 4 strategic imperatives. Your funding and other support of the GSDC ensure that no matter what challenges are put before our community and our people, we will come out stronger together. Thank you for your partnership.
Thank you to our friends at Data Marketing and Greenfield Communications for helping us produce that really well done video. This video made its debut here today with all of you, but we will also be sharing it more broadly through our future e-briefings, and we'll also have it available on our website after today's event. You'll also find our recently published annual report on our website also. It's now my pleasure to transition us into our keynote presentation. The movement of goods and services is foundational to economic development, and air service is a major transportation mode and plays a really significant role in fueling the economic vitality of our businesses and our broader community. In addition to the world-class air service available to our region at MSP, reestablishing air service and growing utilization of the St. Cloud Regional Airport has been a key priority for the GSDC since its founding 10 years ago. As noted in the video, we've made notable progress and we're positioned well for even greater progress in growing air service in our region. And our keynote speaker has a very special history and relationship with our region and our own St. Cloud Regional Airport specifically. In addition to being the CEO and Executive Director of the MSP Metropolitan Airports Commission, Brian Ryks is a former St. Cloud Regional Airport Manager. In fact, it was Brian that first brought the voice of business in our region to the table to collaborate in expanding air service at our local airport. So with no further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Brian Ryks to our virtual stage.
Patti and everyone, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Just want to do a sound check. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay, Patti?
Yes, we can. Oh, perfect, okay. Brian.
Thank you. Great to be with all of you today. I heard a lot of familiar names and voices from my time back in St. Cloud from '98 to 2002. In fact, I found on my credenza just today a picture of when we cut the ribbon for the runway extension and airfield improvement there back in, I believe it was 2001, with Larry Myres, Congressman Peterson, Congressman Obastar, our FAA Regional Director, and Al Tinklenberg, MnDOT Commissioner at the time. And that was a very, very good day, and I think paved the way for continued growth at the St. Cloud Airport. And also very happy to hear the progress on the Airport Authority. We've kept our ear to the ground very closely on that one, and congratulations on your success, and look forward to the day where that formally becomes an authority. Great to be with you today. I'm going to talk give you a little background on the MAC, spend most of my time obviously talking about the impacts of COVID over the last year, and then talk a little bit about some of the programs that we've initiated in response to that, and then touch on air service and some of the capital improvements. So Amelia, go ahead and move the slide forward. You can go ahead and move again as well. As I think many of you know, we own and operate 7 airports, Minneapolis obviously being the hub airport. But this system works very, very well. It allows us to really focus commercial air service and scheduled air cargo at MSP and relieve general aviation and corporate aircraft activity out to our reliever system. So it's a fantastic system. It has proven its worth time and time again, most recently during the Super Bowl and Final Four events that we've had. even with these airports, as I said, we keep a very close ear to what's going on in outstate Minnesota. St. Cloud especially is, as I said, is close to my heart. And we want to make sure that you are successful as a region, as a community, and that airport plays obviously a vital part. Our commission consists of 15 members. Patti is a gold star member on this commission representing the St. Cloud region in outstate Minnesota. She's been on our board since 2014. We hope that she stays on our board for many, many years because she certainly is the voice of reason, the voice of business, and that's what we need. We operate the airport as a business, and that's the way it should be. And Patti brings so much to the table and represents all of you so well. I'm going to talk a little bit about, if you want to move to the next slide, Amelia, you can go ahead and move to the other one too. Really a little background back in 2019 to give you a little sense of where we were from a national standpoint. We were the 17th busiest airport in the nation, just right on par with Boston, a little bit ahead of Detroit. And obviously things have changed. I don't know that our ranking has changed, but you can go to the next slide, Amelia, if you'd like. COVID has been like nothing else. I think in my 35 years, I was expecting 9/11. Actually, I was in St. Cloud during 9/11 as the airport manager there. I was expecting that to really be the speed bump in my career, but we could not have imagined the impact, the negative impact that it has caused upon our industry, like so many others. U.S. airports have lost $40 billion since March of 2020. We as an organization have lost around $220 million in 2020. We're projecting another $93 million. And to put that in perspective, our revenue budget we were projecting about $408 million. So almost cutting that in half last year, which made it extremely challenging. As far as takeoffs and landings go, those numbers were down 40% last year, and passenger activity went from really positive growth to, you can go to the next one, Amelia, positive growth to of a record year of close to 40 million passengers down to about 15 million passengers. As I said, we operate as a business, and so activity is what generates revenue for us, and that was a tremendous impact. Today, things are fluctuating anywhere from about 22% below 2019 levels in passenger activity to 69% depending upon the day. This slide gives you a picture of our nonstop routes, and you can see on the left that number to the upper right, 223, was the number of nonstop direct routes we had back in March of 2019 before COVID hit. That number dropped very rapidly to 105. Actually 105 suspended routes with only 91 active routes. And then you can see how that number has slowly transitioned upwards to 174 active routes today versus 57 suspended. Of those 174, 154 are domestic and 20 are international. We're still hurting on the international side, obviously. Of the suspended routes, there's only about 38 domestic and 19 international. So where we stand today, passengers are down still about 56%. Flights are only about 65% of what they were in 2019. Parking revenue is down 60%, and to kind of put that in perspective, we typically generate $110 million annually in parking revenue. So obviously that's been a big hit to our budget. Concessions, actually I get an update from that today. We're now 61% open on concessions, so we've seen some improvement there. And as I referred to, international flights or transoceanic flights, the only route we currently have is Amsterdam, and so those numbers are still significantly down. From a concession standpoint, this is a busy slide, but it kind of, the green is good, red is not good. Green is open, red is closed. These are the concessions through Terminal 1. And again, 67 of of those concessions are currently open, with 41 closed. So as you come to the airport, we are trying our best to stay ahead of the game and anticipate when traffic will increase or on those peak days, and make sure that we have concessions available for all of you that are traveling. Next slide. This gives you a picture of our Terminal 2 concessions, where we're right at 50%, 6 open and 6 closed. I'm going to move into a little bit, talk about health safety, and as we moved into COVID, safety of our employees, safety of our contractors, and safety of those still needing to travel was our primary concern. And we took a number of steps working with the Minnesota Department of Health and the CDC to ensure what we were doing at our airport was all we could do, and certainly doing those things in an effort to build confidence back into travel. And it really consisted of these 6 items: robust cleaning, hand sanitizing, installing many hundreds of hand sanitizers throughout the facility. Obviously, face coverings, we required face coverings early on. Social distancing continues to be obviously a high priority, and you'll see decals all throughout the facility, not only in the MAC public areas, but in our stakeholder areas to promote social distancing. We've installed hundreds of shields and barriers throughout the facility. And we've also implemented something called Touchless Parking, which I'll touch on a little bit later, but essentially, it's a pre-booked parking system that allows you to enter the facility without touching anything. And it's all based on QR technology that you use through your personal device. So we're pleased with what we've implemented. We're continuing to look to see if there's other things that we can do in the mind of safety for our traveling public. Next slide. We've also wanted to ensure that as an airport, we continue to meet the highest standards, and we've become accredited through the Global Biorisk Advisory Committee STAR program, and also the Airports Council International Health Accreditation Program, which is really focused on ensuring that you are meeting the highest standards for cleanliness, and that you are consistently meeting or exceeding those global standards to help build confidence through your facility. So we went through a very in-depth application process to implement this, and are very pleased that we were able to achieve these accreditations. And it doesn't stop here. It continues on to ensure that as new innovation and technology comes out, that we are implementing those things at the MSP airport. I want to talk a little bit about the path to recovery, and I'll say this first and foremost: we are very fortunate to have Delta as a hub carrier. I think Delta has led the industry in promoting safety for the traveling public. As you probably know, they were the first carrier to restrict middle seats. They've continued to do that. That will go to May 1st of this year. And I also want to say Sun Country has actually taken extraordinary efforts as well to promote the safety of passengers. The key for us is to ensure that we are staying in touch with our customers, and we've done that by conducting surveys. This is a traveler sentiment survey that we received over 800 responses for. The survey is now a couple of years or a couple of months old, but I want to highlight a couple of things. 74% of the passengers that we surveyed said that they are comforted by the personal protective environment that we've created at MSP. So that was reassuring to us that we're doing the right things. And then secondly, and even more importantly, 41% of travelers, and again, this was a couple of months ago, said that they are willing to travel tomorrow. And so that tells me that there's a pent-up demand for travel, and that we will see that. And we have certainly seen that as far as leisure travel during our recent and continuing spring break time period. Next slide. I also want to talk a little bit about testing and vaccines. And testing and vaccines have been and will continue to obviously play a huge role in the foreseeable future. And in that regard, we partnered with the Minnesota Department of Health in November to open up a COVID-19 saliva testing site right at the airport. The initial response on that was very popular, over 1,500 individuals that first day, and that number continued for a number of days. We've opened a rapid testing site on March 10th for passengers. That primarily was in response to the requirements that if you're traveling international, you needed to have a negative test before getting on that aircraft. We've opened a vaccine site just recently for our 15,000 eligible airport employees, and we're moving through vaccines at a very rapid pace. And I think some good news that we've recently seen from CDC is that they've now come out and said that fully vaccinated people can travel safely. And so that was good news for our industry to support, I think, this pent up demand for travel. Moving forward, I think the focus now is really on digital health passports. Europe is moving forward with a green health passport. What really needs to happen is that our federal government, working with industry partners, really needs to come up with a consistent process so that no matter what airport you're departing to or arriving, departing from or arriving to or transferring through, that you have the confidence that not only yourself, but those around you are safe and can continue to be safe throughout that travel. I talked a little bit about a touchless journey, but this is also a key aspect of recovery. I mentioned pre-book parking, which is an online reservation system. So if you're coming from anywhere, coming to MSP, you can now reserve your parking so that you are guaranteed that you will have a parking spot when you arrive. And this is something that I want to give Commissioner Gartland credit on. She has been very active in that, very active in promoting elements that help to make travel more convenient for outstate Minnesota when they're coming to Minneapolis. So that's been very popular. Simplified Arrival is actually, as you're coming in from an international flight, it's based on biometric entry, and it allows you to come through our facilities now without having to go to those kiosks and punch in a number of the information regarding yourself. It's a streamlined process. We partnered with the Customs and Border Protection on implementing that. And we're very happy that that is also another improvement towards a touchless journey. And then the final thing is everything ASAP. It's basically the ability to order food and not have to stop at a concessionaire if you don't want to. And that food can be delivered to your gate. And down, I'll point you to the photo in the bottom right. That is Gstc. Gstc is a new rolling droid that we have at the airport that we're testing out so that your food may be delivered if you order on everything ASAP with this droid. So again, we're looking at innovation and technology to fuel this touchless journey. I want to move a little bit into air service and air service recovery. That is a big priority of ours. And there's been some good news, some positive news on air service. There's been 16 new domestic routes that have been announced recently. I won't get into mentioning them specifically, but Delta, Sun Country, Southwest, and Alaska have all added routes. So that's a positive. It's a positive for us. It means demand is increasing and these airlines are taking notice. I also want to talk a little bit about the partnership that is called the Regional Air Services Partnership. This was something that we established back in 2017, and it's an effort to get area business engaged with air service development at the MSP airport. It's been a very successful endeavor. What we have done is we've gone to these companies and we have said, we don't necessarily need to know where you're going today because we already know that. What we want to know is where you need to go into the future. And this effort, and by obtaining this information and taking it back to airlines, we've been very successful in building new international routes. And as the St. Cloud region, I can't emphasize enough, and this was something that I was really focused on when I was there as well. In fact, helped us get the runway project accomplished up there, was engaging business. Business is so important. An airport needs business to be engaged in order to be successful. And so this is, I think, a perfect example of that. I want to move into a little bit of some of our investments, and we title our capital investment program Reimagining Success. We've typically spent about 250 to 300 million in capital to really support ongoing maintenance and new construction at our facility, which is fantastic for construction jobs. This year, that number has dropped to about 185 million, just from a need to cut back from a revenue standpoint. But a couple of the things that we accomplished took advantage of lower passenger numbers were a complete reconstruction of our inbound roadway. Obviously, typically we would have a lot of difficulty doing this because of the backups and the congestion that would have caused. The other thing that happened is MnDOT completely reconstructed Highway 5, both leading into and out of the airport. And if there's a silver lining to COVID, I guess this was it. It allowed us to do those projects with very minimal disruption to passengers coming and going from the facility. We also opened a new 5,000 space parking facility and ground transportation facility, and so we're prepared now as traffic continues to grow. The other thing I want to talk briefly about is a project that we call operational improvements, and this is a complete expansion and remodeling of our ticketing, our baggage area, our ticketing areas, our baggage areas, and our vertical circulation elements in Terminal 1. And the nice thing about this project is we're actually adding 15 feet to the front of the building, the entire length of the building. And when we embarked upon this project, it was really to accommodate 55 million passengers out 15 or 20 years from now. What has been so fortunate is that it's been a 6-year project. We are 4 to 5 years into this project, but we desperately need that additional space now for social distancing, and so it's really been a positive. And you know, I know many of you have probably been inconvenienced by this project, but if you have not been out there recently, it's really a phenomenal transformation of our facilities. Again, both in ticketing, the baggage claim areas, we're adding much larger baggage carousel devices. We've raised the roof in the baggage area and really brought in much more natural light and wonderful features to that facility. Another project I want to just let you know about is a new Delta Sky Club down on Concourse G. This will be our 3rd Delta Sky Club in the facility. Concourse G has not had a Sky Club, and it's needed, and it's going to be a wonderful addition. For those of you that are familiar with Concourse G, it's the one concourse that has restrooms that have not been updated yet. It has very limited seating areas in some respects. This new Delta Sky Club will actually be on the roof of the concourse. You can kind of see it going up there on the left side. But the wonderful thing about it, it allows us to build seating areas out and add much more square footage and a very nice, attractive atrium area down at the end of that concourse. So that is currently going on and will be opened in the next 1.5 to 2 years. A little bit about excellence. I mean, we are very focused on doing all that we can to ensure that we deliver a first-class passenger experience. There's a lot of individuals and stakeholders involved in that, from our airport foundation and the volunteers that work there to the airlines, the concessionaires, the TSA. And the good news is that, if you want to go to the next slide, Amelia, the good news is that we've been named Best Airport in North America over the last 4 years. The other thing is we're also named to the Airports Council International Director's General Role of Excellence, one of 7 airports worldwide to receive this type of recognition. So it's, I tell people this is part of the Minnesota culture, and we're going to keep it, going, because it's all about ensuring that we are doing all we can for our customers that come through there on a daily basis. The airport, obviously, I think I've got one more slide here, and then we can open it up for any questions. But the airport obviously is a tremendous asset, just like your airport there in St. Cloud, and all airports are across the state. We take it very seriously that we own and operate these assets. The economic impact is close to $16 billion on an annual basis. There's about 87,000 jobs that are impacted by the airport, a tremendous amount of taxes generated to support local and state and federal tax, and about $2.5 billion in visitor spending. On top of that, our reliever airport system generates $750 million in economic impact as well. So these airports are tremendous assets, and will continue to be there. So I encourage you to continue to pay attention to the airport authority, and ensuring that you are partnering with your airport to not only develop air service, but develop other economic opportunities as they come. So instead of saying thank you, I wanted to say go Huskies as a alum, St. Cloud alum also. Hopefully they'll win today. And with that, Patti, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you, Brian. Great name, by the way. And your mother spelled it right, so that's good. We're going to wait on the Q&A. I think we're running a little behind schedule, so we're going to move into the awards. And at the end, if we've got time, if you've got questions, you can address them at Brian, either of the Brians and Patti. And if you've got any, put them in the chat feature in the meantime, and we can address those later. But anyway, thank you, Brian, and you can probably expect a few calls from your friends in St. Cloud as we go forward on our St. Cloud Regional Air Authority. So you can expect that. So thank you much. In 2014, our organization created 2 awards, the Community Catalyst Award and the Leadership Award. The Community Catalyst Award recognizes a company or organization that is a leader in initiating and supporting economic and community development in the greater St. Cloud region. Past recipients include the Morgan Family Foundation, the Initiative Foundation, Centricare, Central Minnesota Community Foundation, and the United Way of Central Minnesota. This year, we recognize Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Minnesota. The Boys and Girls Club of Central Minnesota does whatever it takes to empower youth, especially those who need it most, to reach their full potential. Since 1974, the Boys and Girls Club of Central Minnesota has provided hope and opportunity to tens of thousands of young people in pre-K grades, pre-K to 12th grade during non-school hours. With more than 25 nationally tested and proven programs available in the areas of education, environment, health, arts, careers, drug and alcohol prevention, leadership development, and athletics, they are providing our future workforce an exceptional foundation. The programming focused on career exploration and leadership development aligns directly with our GSDC emphasis on our future workforce through our Expand Talent initiative. We want to particularly recognize Mary Swingle, Boys and Girls Club of Central Minnesota President and CEO, and their entire leadership team for their visionary leadership and follow through in the creation and development of Career Start. This program provides youth opportunities to engage in a multitude of activities and programs to explore new interests and develop their own passions. Graduates of Career Start earn scholarship dollars to continue their education at the St. Cloud Technical and Community College through Career Start's secondary program, Career Achieve. The Boys and Girls Club doesn't stop there. They partner with local school districts to provide academic support to youth before and after school, as well as during hybrid and distance learning. They stepped up like no other during the pandemic and provided free childcare for essential workers for an entire year. They continue to partner with multiple organizations to support youth development, and they have been instrumental partners in the creation of our community virtual tutoring platform, Around Cloud Tutors. Mary Schwingle, President and CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Central Minnesota, please accept this Community Catalyst Award for the work of the Boys and Girls Club and for partnering with the GSDC in our schools to improve the workforce readiness of the young people in our community. Mary, could you just give us a word or two? Great work.
Well, thank you so much. It's such an honor to receive this. It really speaks to the power of our greater St. Cloud community, and a statement that was said earlier in the video that they shared about stronger together. We really truly are stronger together when we all come and work and support each other. This year has been a year unlike any. We have done more free programming, and programming worked more hours than ever through the pandemic. And we didn't just survive it, we have thrived and brought in so many new additional programs for our community to impact our economy as these kiddos graduate from high school and move on. So we are just thrilled to receive this award. We have the most dynamic, committed staff and board of directors that really truly live our mission every single day. So thank you, Brian, GSDC, and all of the greater St. Cloud community for supporting us.
Thank you, Mary. Great work. Our GSDC Leadership Award recognizes an individual who is actively engaged in the work of the GSDC and has made exceptional personal contributions to advancing its mission and the growth of the regional economy. Previous recipients include Al Kramers, Dave Greenis, Rick Bowerly, Tim Wensman, Tom Gronis, Dr. Mary Hinton, and Mike Markman. With the 2021 Leadership Award, we recognize Ken Holman. Ken Holman, MD, joined Centricare on January 1st, 2015 as the president and CEO. Dr. Holman is responsible for providing leadership and strategic direction of Centricare and its 13,000 employees for the establishment, maintenance, and enhancement of quality health services in accordance with the mission, philosophy, and values of the organization. Centricare includes 8 hospitals, 7 long-term care facilities, 30 clinics and specialty centers in central, southwest, and west central Minnesota, and a family practice residency program affiliated with the University of Minnesota. Dr. Holman holds an MD degree from the University of Minnesota Medical School and is a board-certified anesthesiologist. We want to especially thank Dr. Holman for his work in leading our region's pandemic response, presenting at our summer 2020 industry sector roundtables, being an active member of our diversity, equity, and inclusion leadership team, and a loyal GSDC board member. So Ken, please accept this leadership award for your outstanding contributions to our community and to the GSDC. Ken?
Brian, and to my colleagues, thank you kindly. It's an unexpected honor, so thank you. I like to remind all of us that this is a team sport. So on behalf of the 13,000 good folks at Centricare that serves roughly 800,000 Minnesotans, thank you on behalf of them. Thank you on behalf of all of you. Certainly a remarkable year. None of us probably anticipated the year would be as it is, but it is what it was. And so thank you for the friendship, the professional collegiality as we work together to, as best as possible, mitigate the consequences of the COVID pandemic. So Brian, I would finish simply, thank you. And please note that you forgot one thing on my CV. I'm from Iowa. Thank you very much.
Sorry about that, Ken. You never forget that you're an Iowegian.
Everybody is worried about, the Russians this and the Chinese that. What about Iowa?
Yeah, well, I was taking over. There's no question.
Thank you again very much, Brian.
Thank you, Ken. On June 10th, 2020, our community lost another community pillar when George Torrey passed away at age 87. George was born in North Dakota, grew up in Miltona, Minnesota, and joined G.R. Herberger's Inc. in 1971, where he became president and chief operating officer until his retirement in 1994. George and his wife Shirley were proud parents to Katie, Ann, and David, and had 8 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. To have known George was to have known a true pillar in our community. His generous smile, candor, and generosity and straightforward approach to life and business will be memories we will cherish forever. He served on the boards of the St. Cloud Hospital, CentraCare Health System, Central Minnesota Community Foundation, Gustavus Adolphus College, United Way, Boys and Girls Club, the Downtown Development Corporation, Rotary, and numerous other organizations. Besides his long and successful career at Herberger's, where he was instrumental in their growth and expansion in St. Cloud and across the Midwest, George was a dedicated community member that not only contributed his time, but also his treasure to our community for the well-being of others. George and Shirley's legacy of philanthropy and passions for education, economic development, healthcare, youth, and many other causes have made their mark in the lives of thousands of people. George often quoted Luke 12:48, "To whom much is given, much is expected." That philosophy is what truly makes George Torrey a pillar in our community. Please join me in thanking his daughters Ann and Kate and family for sharing George with this community for so many years and for the impact their family has had on the greater St. Cloud community. Our tradition has been to present the family of our Community Pillar Award with a beautiful bouquet of white roses. Given our virtual format, and because the Herberger's brand during George Torrey's tenure was marked by a red rose, we had a bouquet of red roses sent to both his daughters earlier today. Kate?
Hi. Thank you for the bouquet today and for recognizing my dad for his contributions in St. Cloud. He sure loved that community, and it's been fun for my sister and I to learn more about what he did. He didn't share a lot of that with us, but we sure learned that he loved it. So I think that he would be so proud that the community is in such capable hands with the Gsdc, and he would be more proud that the Huskies are winning, and that's really what's important. So I think he's got a hand in that today.
I think so too, Kate. Thank you so much. Before we end the format part of our meeting, we'd like to open the floor to any questions from our audience about Mr. Ryks' presentation or the exciting work happening at the Gsdc. Because there are so many of us, please type your questions in the chat box near the bottom of your screen. If you would like your questions to remain anonymous, please send your message directly to myself or to Patti. And we, of course, welcome and encourage your questions, suggestions, and feedback anytime in whatever form suits you best. Patti, I've been speaking, so are there any questions that we need to address here?
No, Brian, actually, I think, you know, we've run right up to our 5 o'clock hour. And so I think what we'd like to do is invite folks to please feel free to continue, you know, putting any questions into chat or to contact us directly, and we'll follow up afterwards. We are doing e-briefings on a regular basis. We'll share those questions out. Mr. Ryks has agreed to address any questions relative to MSP or the air service presentation also. So I think we can probably move on, right?
So as we move to the final 15 minutes, which is dedicated to networking, I would like to thank all our participants today, our award winners and speaker, for your contributions to our annual meeting. I also would like to thank the GSDC staff for their efforts, creativity, and unending work and service toward our community. To our investors and to the dedicated leadership of my fellow board members of the Greater St. Cloud Development Corporation, I say thank you. Please save the date for our next all investor and partner meeting on August 26th from 4 to 6 p.m. where we intend to gather in person and outside in celebration of GSDC's 10-year anniversary. Now grab whatever beverage you care to have and join us for our annual meeting reception. Thanks for all you do to make our community prosper, and go Huskies. Let's win the Frozen Four and bring home the big trophy. I think seeing all those hockey players hoisting President Wacker in the air to celebrate would be really cool.